There's a saying that people in Los Angeles know better than most. Every secret has a shelf life. It doesn't matter how carefully it's buried. It doesn't matter how many people swear to keep quiet. It doesn't matter how many locked rooms, hushed conversations, and careful arrangements have been made to keep the truth from coming out. Eventually, always, it surfaces. And this week, on The Bold and the Beautiful, the shelf life on several very dangerous secrets appears to be running out. All at once. Because the latest weekly promo is not serving up one explosive development, it's serving up 4. And if everything hinted at in those few short clips actually plays out the way it looks like it's going to, this could be one of the most consequential weeks Los Angeles has seen in a very long time. Let's break it all down. But first, if you're not already subscribed to this channel, now is the moment. Hit that subscribe button, tap the notification bell, and make sure you never miss a breakdown like this one. Because what's coming this week on The Bold and the Beautiful is exactly the kind of story that demands a front row seat. Let's get into it. Now, longtime fans of the show know that The Bold and the Beautiful rarely operates on a slow simmer. The pacing is relentless. The stakes are always personal, and the connections between storylines, the way one secret bleeds into another, the way one confrontation sends shockwaves across 3 different relationships, are what make this show so endlessly compelling. This week is a perfect example of exactly that. Because nothing happening in this promo is happening in isolation. Hope's confrontation with Thomas is tangled up in the Forrester family power struggle. Ridge and Brooke's crisis connects directly to Steffy's long, simmering agenda. Carter and Paris being seen together raises questions that touch every major alliance in that building. And Deacon? Deacon Sharp making a move at Il Giardino could affect every single one of those storylines before the week is over. This is what The Bold and the Beautiful does at its very best. Everything connected, everything at risk, and no one, not one single character on that canvas, walking away from this week unchanged. According to the weekly promo that fans have been dissecting since it dropped, this week opens with a confrontation that has been building for longer than most viewers probably realized. Hope Logan has found something. We don't know exactly what, but the look on her face in the promo, the way she squares up to Thomas with a kind of quiet, steely certainty, tells you everything you need to know about how serious this is. This isn't an emotional outburst. This isn't Hope reacting in the heat of the moment. This is Hope Logan with receipts, and Thomas Forrester, reportedly, is not nearly as prepared for this moment as he thought he was. Here's where things take a turn. Because fans of this couple, and there are many, have spent months watching Hope and Thomas navigate what felt like a genuine fresh start. A second chance. The kind of slow, careful rebuild that only happens when 2 people have survived enough pain together to understand what they're actually choosing. And for a while, it seemed to be working. Thomas appeared changed. Hope appeared open. The walls between them were coming down, slowly, carefully, but coming down. Which is exactly what makes this week's confrontation so devastating. Because when Hope stands in front of Thomas and confronts him about a message, a specific, apparently damning communication that she was clearly never supposed to find, the question isn't just what the message said. The question is what it means for everything they've built. Could Thomas have been concealing something significant this entire time? Is this a misunderstanding? Something that looks worse than it actually is? Or is Hope Logan staring at evidence that the man she chose to trust has not changed as completely as she allowed herself to believe? Soap fans know that Thomas Forrester's history with secrets is long and complicated. They also know that Hope's capacity for forgiveness has limits. And this week, we may be about to find out exactly where that limit is. Whatever Thomas says in response, whatever explanation he offers, the promo makes one thing very clear. Hope is not in a forgiving mood. But that's not all. Because across town, inside the walls of the Forrester mansion, another confrontation is unfolding, and this one may have even longer-reaching consequences. Steffy Forrester has had enough. Now, longtime viewers know that Steffy Forrester has never been the type to wait patiently while the world arranges itself to her satisfaction. She is her father's daughter in the best and most complicated ways. She moves with purpose. She speaks with authority. And when she decides that something needs to change, she does not make suggestions. She issues ultimatums. And this week, according to the promo, she is directing one directly at Ridge and Brooke. The exact nature of the ultimatum isn't spelled out clearly because soap promos are never that generous. But the body language alone tells a story. Steffy stands centered, unmovable. And the way Ridge reacts, not with dismissal, not with the easy authority of a father setting his daughter straight, but with something that looks uncomfortably close to uncertainty, suggests that whatever Steffy is demanding carries real weight. Is she issuing an ultimatum about Brooke's role in the family business? Is this about something she's discovered that changes the dynamic between Ridge and his wife? Or is Steffy finally drawing a line in the sand about something that has been festering since long before this week began? Many fans believe this moment has been building for months, that Steffy has been watching, waiting, and accumulating a very specific kind of patience, the kind that snaps all at once rather than fraying slowly. And if that's true, then what we're about to see this week isn't just a confrontation, it's a detonation. Whatever Ridge and Brooke thought their week looked like before this conversation, it looks very different now. Of course, there's another side to this, because while Hope confronts Thomas and Steffy delivers her ultimatum, a quieter but equally charged scene is unfolding somewhere far less dramatic. Carter Walton and Paris Buckingham, together, alone, in a meeting that, from everything the promo suggests, neither of them particularly wanted anyone to know about. Now, soap fans know better than to dismiss a private meeting between these two as routine. Carter and Paris have history. Complicated, emotionally layered history that never quite resolved itself as cleanly as the people around them seemed to believe. They were something to each other once, something significant. And the question that immediately arises when you see them together in that promo, speaking quietly in a space clearly chosen for its privacy, is whether the past between them is what this meeting is about, or whether the secret they're apparently sharing belongs to someone else entirely. Think about the timing. Carter is one of the most powerful figures at Forrester Creations. He has access. He has information. He is, by design and by trust, the person that the Forrester family relies on when they need something handled with discretion. What if what he and Paris are discussing has nothing to do with their personal history at all? What if Carter has discovered something about Hope and Thomas, about Steffy's ultimatum, about something else entirely, and Paris is the only person he trusts enough to tell? Or what if it's the other way around? What if Paris is the one who knows something, and Carter is the only person she can bring it to? Either way, the promo makes one thing clear. This meeting is not casual. These are not two people sharing a coffee and catching up. Whatever is being said in that room carries consequences. And those consequences? Apparently, they're about to land somewhere nobody expected. And then came the part fans weren't expecting. Because in a week already packed with confrontations, ultimatums, and secret meetings, the promo saves one of its most intriguing developments for Il Giardino, Deacon Sharp, making a move. Now, if you've been watching The Bold and the Beautiful for any stretch of time, you understand that Deacon Sharp, operating at Il Giardino, is never just about the restaurant. Il Giardino has become, over time, a kind of information hub, a place where conversations happen, where alliances are quietly formed, where people who need to talk without being observed by the Forresters or the Logans or the Spencers come to say the things they can't say anywhere else. And Deacon? Deacon has always understood exactly where the power in a room actually lives. He didn't build that restaurant into what it is by accident. He built it by being smart, by being observant, by understanding that the most valuable currency in Los Angeles isn't money, it's information. So when the promo shows Deacon making a deliberate, clearly premeditated move, and when the reaction of the person on the receiving end registers somewhere between shock and alarm, the question isn't whether this is significant. It obviously is. The question is how it connects to everything else unfolding this week. Is Deacon acting on something he overheard? Has someone come to him with information they needed to pass along without being traced back to themselves? Or is Deacon sharp, after years of being the unpredictable wild card on the edges of everyone else's story, finally making a play that puts him squarely at the center of something? Many fans believe the second option is exactly what's happening. That this week isn't Deacon reacting. This week, Deacon is initiating. And that distinction? That could change everything. Here's where things take the most significant turn of all, because the most interesting thing about this week's promo isn't any single one of these 4 storylines. It's how neatly they fit together. Think about it. Hope confronting Thomas about a secret message. Steffy delivering an ultimatum to Ridge and Brooke. Carter and Paris meeting privately about something neither of them wants known. Deacon making a move at Il Giardino that shocks whoever is on the receiving end. These are not 4 separate stories. They are 4 corners of the same story. The secret that Hope found. Where did it come from? Who sent it? And is it possible that Carter is involved in how it reached her? The ultimatum Steffy is delivering to Ridge and Brooke. Is it connected to whatever Thomas has been concealing? Is Steffy acting on her own agenda, or has someone given her information that sharpened her resolve at exactly this moment? And Deacon. Deacon, who sits at the center of Il Giardino and observes everything. Deacon, who has connections to Hope, to Ridge, to the Foresters, to the Spencers, to virtually every major player in this city. Is it possible that what Deacon is initiating this week is the thing that unlocks all of it? That the move he makes at Il Giardino is the key that opens every locked door in this week's storyline? Some viewers already think so. And honestly, it's hard to disagree. Because in true soap opera fashion, the character who appears to be on the edges of the drama is very often the one holding the thread that unravels everything. Which brings us to the moment in the promo that fans cannot stop replaying. It comes near the end, after the confrontations, after the ultimatums, after the private meetings and the strategic moves and the carefully constructed tension of a week already tilting toward explosion. One character looks at another, and the camera holds on their face long enough that you cannot look away. And they say, quietly but with absolute certainty, nothing stays hidden in this town. Not forever. It lands like a verdict, not a warning, not a threat, a verdict. Because everyone in that promo, Hope, Thomas, Ridge, Brooke, Steffy, Carter, Paris, Deacon, is operating on the assumption that they have more time. More time before the thing they're carrying comes out. More time before the secret finds its way to the surface. But that line, delivered with the particular calm of someone who already knows the outcome, suggests that the clock has already run out. That the week ahead isn't about secrets staying hidden. It's about what happens the moment they don't. Every secret in Los Angeles has a shelf life. And this week, for some of the most beloved characters on daytime television, that shelf life is ending. Hope will get her answers. The ultimatum will land. The private meeting will have consequences. And whatever Deacon Sharp sets in motion at Il Giardino will ripple outward in ways that nobody, not the characters, not the writers, and possibly not even the fans who have been watching this show for decades, will see coming. Because that's what the bold and the beautiful does. It takes the secrets we thought were safely buried. It lets us believe for just long enough that maybe this time things will be different. And then it reminds us, every single week, that in this city, nothing stays hidden. Not forever. We'll be right here when it all comes out.